Hello. So I kind of wanted to talk about what I plan on doing when it comes to old school RuneScape and I guess MapleStory in a sense. Um, I've been having a lot of fun playing old school RuneScape again, and yeah, I did check out the Inkwell node and GMS and whatnot, but I'm gonna plan on basically fully not like fully sending, but basically my goal is to get 200 mil in all the skills. That's the highest XP tracks to, in case you don't know, but I decided that's kind of what I've wanted to do. It's kind of been something in the back of my mind for a while. And starting off, we're going to be doing rune crafting, and some ground rules I'm going to be making is I'm going to be doing it on my original account that I made in 2005. It is the main account. I know it's not an Iron Man or whatever, but I have a lot of fun playing this account. It means a lot to me, and one of the ground rules is obviously no RWT, so no buying bonds for GP, no black market for GP, no alts. I'm not going to be using an alt to do some money-making method, so then I can just do all the fastest methods without having to worry about GP. And I think I'm going to also disallow flipping, where you just basically are buying and reselling items for profit. I don't think I really am going to need to do that, but I think I'm going to just go ahead and disallow myself from doing that, because I think it's more fun kind of budgeting the skilling, like how much GP you earn from this skill, budget it towards the buyables and such. And I kind of have a little bit of history with this game that I kind of want to talk about for a little bit. It's going to be kind of a rambling where I'm just going to be talking about a bunch of nonsense, but so essentially I have this cookies account, which is basically how it was when Old School first came out in 2013. This pudding account, I was playing RS3 at the time and just buying bonds for both the accounts. So I was just doing money making on there for bonds. And then I was mostly playing the cookies account on Old School RuneScape. And I was grinding for 99 Allstat. I didn't really intentionally plan on doing that back then, but after I got like 99 Slayer and like all the 99 combats after that, I was like, screw it, that'd be a sick goal. Something I always wanted to do, as you know, back in 05, was get 99 in all the skills. And I ended up coming very, very close to 99 Allstat on that account. If I recall correctly, I got 96 thieving, almost 97. It was 66 hunter and like level 80 woodcutting, and then everything else was 99. And this was in February 2014, I believe. And then they falsely banned the account because they thought I macroed mining, which the account is unbanned now. But it got unbanned in 2021, like 7 years after 2024 when I got banned, unfortunately. So I kind of stopped playing after that ban. Basically, every time I try to appeal it, they're like, we're right, you're wrong, you suck. And that account was, at that point, it was rank 10, and I was on pace to be the 5th person to hit 99 Allstat. And I legitimately had the thought of going for 200 mil all on that account, like back then, even like in early 2014. I was like so close to hitting 99 all, because it's really close to getting thieving done. Hunter's a pretty fast skill. Even back then with like Chin Champas, it's not that slow of a skill. And then woodcutting is easy peasy. Like, you can get, dude, I think you can get like 100k XP an hour just AFKing thieves. I could be wrong on that, but it's pretty freaking easy. But yeah, I was really close, and after that, I kind of stopped playing, and I full sent hitting like level 250 on my perma beginner on MapleStory and 250 on the bishop. I was rank 1 beginner, like rank 2 bishop, and I think rank like 14 overall. I could look it up. I'm too lazy to do that, or something like that, or like rank 16, something like that, for the 250 leaderboard. But then I kind of got bored with Maple because the game, I think, was in the worst state back then in 2016. Like, basically 2013 until the end of 2016 when 5th Job came out, I think that was like the worst era of that game, where endgame was just like CRA and Hard Magnus and training at like Drill Hall, like level 160 monsters. It was pretty atrocious. But essentially, during the middle of 2016, like June 2016, I started playing this account again, and it was basically like nothing on Old School because I was mostly playing on RS3 for bonds, which I actually was still doing that. Fast forwarding to 2016 in June on this account, I would log into RS3 and just do flipping on it. I wasn't really necessarily flipping. I don't know if this still works, but back in 2016, my strategy to get free bonds was I would buy Super Restore potions and Ceradomin brews in 3 or 4 doses, and then I would buy empty flasks, which people who don't know are essentially potions with 6 doses instead of 4, like a vial. But this is RS3 thing, and basically all I did was I bought Super Restores, Ceradomin Blue, 3 dose and 4 dose, and I would decant them into 6 dose flasks. And for whatever reason, every time I did that, I made millions upon millions of GP. It was like something that took 5 seconds. Like, you bought the potions, you went to the troll place or wherever it was with the pools, and you just hit the NPC to decant them, and then you would sell them back in the G, and you'd make several mil every buy limit. I don't remember what the buy limit was, but it was something that took like two seconds, and you could do it every 4 hours with the GE limit, and I was buying bonds and essentially had free membership on this account. So from June 2016 until like endish of towards the end of November. I remember being around Thanksgiving. So it took me about 4.5, 5 months, you can call it, to hit 99 all stat on this account in 2016. And then at the end of 2016 is kind of when MapleStory released 5th Job, and I decided, you know what, all the good rank spots are taken, you know, on Old School RuneScape anyways at this point. Like, there's no real competing with these people. And back then I was always comparing myself to people. I really regret having that mindset. But essentially, Maple came out with 5th Job, and it kept me interested with them releasing, you know, new areas for Arcane River all the way up until this point. But I always said this in 2016 when I came back to this game, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna put a nail in the coffin. I'm gonna finally get 99 all stat on OSRS, you know, on RuneScape or whatever. And I finally did that, and it felt very satisfying, and that was the most fun I've ever had grinding any video game ever. It was really exciting, and I did it the same way that I said earlier. No alts, no flipping. I might have done like merching, but I definitely didn't flip stuff. I budgeted all the GP I earned from mining. I did gem rocks to 99. I did all the rune crafting, nature runes. At the time, I think we're like 315, 305 GP each in 2016. I budgeted everything so I could do all the buyables and do Slayer fully with melee and cannon. Definitely things have changed since then, where I didn't even barrage any tasks, which even back then was kind of dumb, but the catacombs were kind of new to me back then. But anyway, that was the most fun I had, and then MapleStory kind of took over, and I just kind of fell off of RuneScape until I honestly, until the 300 grind on Maple, and then like, I don't know, after the 300 grind on Maple, I still have fun playing the game, but and I'm really glad with the most recent Inkwell note and everything, and I'm glad that a lot of that stuff is getting introduced. And I know a lot of people are upset that there's no magic wand or miso cubes for interactive world, but at the end of the day, everything that was in that note is good for both servers. Obviously, you always want the best of both worlds, but it is what it is. I think they're doing a good job at power creeping GMS with things like level 3 link skills and all that. I think it's cool because with how scuffed the GMS interactive world experience is, we do need like power creep from GMS exclusive things just as much as Heroic World in a sense. I do think Heroic World probably needs it more, but when you're paying like 600 mil for a bonus cube instead of 100 mil, the miso rate is really bad and there's nothing in the auction house and you're kind of forced to cube your stuff after a really certain point, and it just so happens that point ends up being at ultra endgame where you have to farm in a ridiculous amount of miso to be able to cube your stuff, yada yada yada. But I do think it's cool. I do think it's interesting. I am not going to be playing GMS because I'm having way more fun just grinding XP on this game. And as far as like PVM and PvP content goes on this game, I do want to get into it, but I'm going to be solely focusing on the 200 mil all grind when I'm playing this. I will be back to MapleStory when Classic gets released for sure. And with Classic Maple, as long as they release Fourth Job and Leaf Free, I don't see how you can release Fourth Job without Leaf Free, but, you know, as long as they have Fourth Job, you know, Leaf Free's there, you got the Skelegons. I will grind that game all the way to 200. Won't be first or anything, but that is my plan going forward. And today, at like 18.2 mil or so XP, I ended up getting the rune crafting pet. Look at that little sucker. Look at him. Look at this guy. So that's what my plans are going forward. I don't have any intention on logging in for the next update or the next boss, Baldrix, Legion Champion, all that I was working very hard towards. I just decided that I'd rather do this, which I know might seem a little odd to people, but this is just way more fun to me and more satisfying, and I like the idea of budgeting the GP that you make from skilling. I don't know. It feels like 2016 again for me, where skilling, like a lot of the buyables have gotten a lot cheaper, and I've found that you can even profit off of certain buyables, like for example smithing, so it's going to be a very long grind. I'm not going to go crazy mode, sleeping 3 to 4 hours. I've said plenty of times before, I'm past that point in my life. I'm done. I make sure I always get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every day now. So I'm going to be playing this for a while. I don't know if I really care to stream it. It's really kind of annoying when I'm streaming like other games and people just come in and start like complaining about like MapleStory and stuff, and it's like, I get it, I understand, but you know what, like I'm kind of out of that game right now. I'm just over it. But I understand. We'll see if I stream it or not. I'm not sure, but that's what I plan on doing. Thank you all for watching, if anybody does watch this. And 200 mil rune crafting on the way. No problem. Wallop!